Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am back with a brand new video, and today we're going to be taking a look at my free comic book day haul. And as you can see, this is a bag full of free comic books that I got on today. And I got them from the Acme Comics store in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of background about the history of Free Comic Book Day in case you have never heard of it. So Free Comic Book Day is an annual, and this is all courtesy of Wikipedia, of course. So Free Comic Book Day is an annual promotional effort by the North American comic book industry to attract readers to independent comic book stores. It usually takes place on the first Saturday of May and is often cross-promoted with the release of a superhero film. So today, my wife and I, we went by Acme Comics. I knew about it. I follow Acme Comics on Instagram, and I knew it was coming up, so I definitely wanted to go and check it out. They had different vendors out there. It was we actually drove by it earlier in the day. We were out running an errand, and we saw the vendor tents. They had lines of people outside of the store this morning, so we came back actually later in the afternoon as it was a pretty heavy downpour, and it was still a ton of people in there. And just first and foremost, Acme Comics, if you're in the Greensboro area and if you're a comic book fan, you have to stop by Acme. Acme is the premier comic store in Greensboro. They have been around since 1982. They have excellent customer service. I follow them on Instagram, so kind of keep abreast of the latest, updates and new materials they get in. And even though I wanted to describe myself as a comic book collector, not by any means that I am, of course, as a wrestling figure collector or just wrestling merchandise or even anime collector and manga to an extent, but I always enjoy going in Acme and comic book stores period, because it's the same audience that's into wrestling figures, that is into anime, that is into manga, that is into gaming, is into comics as well. All of those hobbies intersect. We're all nerds. So I just want to show you some of the what I got, my haul from the day. And the craziest thing is that I went in there because I never have been there on a free comic book day before. So I went in there honestly expecting to get maybe one or two free comics. I was floored when they gave me 2 bags, literally containing over 20 comics. So they far exceeded my expectations. So I was just, it blew me away. So just want to show you the titles that I got, and we're gonna go from there. So first off, we have Best of 2000 AD. Up next, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Up next, we have Stranger Things, based off of the popular Netflix series. Up next, we have Marvel Voices. Next, we have Street Fighter Masters, and that's Blanca on the cover, one of the more memorable Street Fighter characters. This character, he terrified me as a kid whenever I played Street Fighter. We have Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 25 years, so it looks to be a 25th year anniversary comic, of course, of the hit television show from back in the day. We have the BBC's Doctor Who. And as you can see, a lot of these books have the Free Comic Book Day logo on the cover to distinguish from a regular, issue. We have Bloodborne, which is based off of the video game. Now, I have never played Bloodborne, but I'm a huge Berserk fan of the anime manga Berserk, and I heard that Bloodborne was heavily influenced by Berserk. So up next, we have Spider-Man and Venom. Next, we have Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Judgment Day. Now we're going into a little more younger territory with some Enemies by Svetlana Kamakova. Looks like a pretty interesting book. We have the League of Super Pets, DC League of Super Pets. That looks interesting. We have Galaxy, the Prettiest Star. I've never heard of that, but hey, it looks like it should be an interesting read. We have Neverlanders. We have a combo issue. Looks like 3 different stories. Captain Underpants, Dogman, and Cat Kid Comic Club. Fuzzy Baseball. This looks very interesting. A group of I think what you call it, and I guess anthropomorphic animals. This looks to be all over the map, but it looks like a very fun story. So I flipped through a few pages of this earlier, but I definitely will be reading. This may be the first one I read. This just looks. I mean, you have a pig, you have a snake, you have a horse, you have a penguin, koala. I mean, this is highly fascinating. We have Blackguard. We have Jonna and the Unstoppable Monsters. We have, and this is a thick one, Clementine. A bold new young adult adventure from The Walking Dead. So this is a lot. We have the Inkle Universe. Pokemon Journey. Good old Pokemon Journeys. Sonic the Hedgehog. Now this holds a special place in my heart. When I looked through the bag and saw Sonic, I was it brought back a lot of memories, because this was actually a comic book I collected the most as a kid. I collected Sonic comics from, I would say, elementary through middle school. Very, very fond memories of this comic book series. And of course, being a huge Sonic fan, period, back in the day, I was a huge Sega Genesis kid. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Max Meow Cat on the Street. Comic Spectacular. And last but not least, we have Dark Crisis Special Edition, DC Comics. And yeah, so very diverse bundle, as you can see. So and that's the thing about comics. Comics are so diverse. They tell so many different stories. You can have comics for adults, for teens, for kids, for so many different audiences. So again, this was a treat. This was the gift I didn't know I was going to get today, because I really just went out there expecting to browse a few things and just, so just something really just to get out of the house and, have some fun and, see a few vendors, see what was up. But I did not anticipate getting all of these comic books for free. So again, Acme Comics definitely came through. They are far and away the best comic book store in Greensboro. If you were in the Greensboro area, Greensboro, North Carolina area, by all means. And if you're a comic book fan, you have to stop by there. And even if you're not into comic books, they have action figures, a lot of other, comics related, just nerdy things you may be into. So by all means, pay them a visit. And like you said, this was just very cool, just going through all these. So I'm going to be reading that baseball one first. I may read that before I go to bed tonight. But again, just hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you again after a while.